welcome to this video where we're actually investigating why the hood on my mother's Bertone Astra G no longer functions. So the first thing that I'm going to check obviously is the fuses, which I've already checked. So you're looking for, in the interior fuse box, you're looking at fuse number 42, which is, bear with me, so fuse number 42, if we look at this image of the fuse box, that's number 42 there. It's actually next to, it's not shown on this diagram, but it's next to the main system fuse for the convertible top, so you want to check that one as well. Further along on the fuse box, which isn't shown here, might be shown on this one, there is a couple of 2 amp fuses which are also related to the hood, and they're worth checking as well. There is behind the sort of gear stick centre console area, there is a buzzer or beeper which will beep when you're raising the hood or lowering the hood. If it beeps 6 times, if I recall, that means that there is a problem with the hood or one of the sensors, but at the moment mine's not beeping at all. There's nothing whatsoever, which is first off, it pointed me in the direction of the fuses. They're absolutely fine. It's now pointing me in the direction of the ECU. So another thing that can snap or have a problem is this boot loom. So rather than immediately condemn the ECU, we're going to check the boot loom. Hello. The other thing is, another problem that we can have is the loom to the hood can also snap. So at the moment there is a multitude of issues with this, which is a shame because it's a 54,000 mile car. It's in good condition, it's not used over the winter. It's covered, but I think it's beginning to suffer 20-year-old car issues. Now I should use a proper tool to remove these, but hey, I'm at the show and I haven't bought the correct stuff with me, so we're just going to have to work with what we've got. So let's get these out, and then you'll be back when I've got access to the loom connectors. Well, that's pretty conclusive. So that has just completely torn itself to pieces. So that's going to be fun to repair. And the date on this loom is another really old one, 2003, 2nd month 12th, so 12th of February 2003. So the car was registered in 2006, and there's lots of parts in here that I've discovered that are from 2004. Well, this one's from 2003, so yeah, there's lots and lots of bits which are quite old. Behind here we have an earthing point, so I need to get this disconnected and start wiring that back up. So that one connects to this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can solder some extension cables onto these and solder it back onto these. So I'm going to need to cut into the loom tape a little bit, but I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do this without having to remove this whole loom. So let's see how we get on. Right, let's see what we can do with this. Looks like I found some more suitable wiring. These ones are very similar thickness and more colours, so we can probably do something with those. And actually the right length as well. So a couple of these browns. So brown and brown. We've got a brown and white. So let's start off with these browns. Right, now we just have another 1, 2, well 8, it says 9, so 8 to go. Anyway, I won't bore you with all of that, so I'll just show you how to do, I'll just demonstrate what I'm doing with one of them. So I'm going to crack on, get the rest of them done, and you'll rejoin me in a bit. Okay, so this is what we've ended up with. And what I've tried to do as far as possible is to keep the colour codes as appropriate as possible. So yellow, brown, white, brown, red, brown. And there we go. So we're going to fit that into the car in a moment. So now that I've actually got this sorted out and soldered, I'm going to test continuity on each of these wires to make sure they work. So I'm going to grab a multimeter and set it to 200 ohms. I'm going to pop one end onto the connector on the pin, and then the other end onto there. And then what we should see is no resistance across each pin. So I just need to repeat this for 9 pins. So let's get that done. So there's one. That one looks good. So we just need to repeat that, and then we can start reattaching this to the boot loom. So I'll get that done, and you'll join me back in a bit. So the next thing I need to do is to solder everything back together. So just going to see how that goes. So I've actually done 3. I need to do a few more now. The problem I've got is I've got no idea where any of these go. So I'm trying to do colour to colour. So for example, we've got black and yellow to black and yellow, black and yellow. So I'm hoping that they serve the same purpose. What I should be doing is stripping everything down and following each of these back to where they're going on the car. But let's see where we go with this. I mean, if I need to take it all apart again, I need to take it all apart again. But yeah, see how we get on. And there we go. So that's what we're going to do next. This one is brown and red. So brown and red is this one. So what we're going to do is strip a little bit off of there, like so. find my brown and red. So this is brown and red. So I've used the red heat shield, or heat shrink. Let's grab another red heat shrink. And just slide that over. Then meet this up together. And then sort of just coil it over. Like so, so it's sort of just coiled over like that, which doesn't always work, so what we might have to do is take that off and twist the pairs together. So this is never going to be as good as an original loom, but don't really have much choice. Then bit of solder onto there, so let's get that sorted out. So this is a little Draper gas soldering iron, and it's actually a really nice size. There's enough gas in there for probably about 5 to 10 minutes worth of soldering. It's a nice size, and it's easy to handle because it's quite small. You can almost use it like a pen and actually get quite a good finish out of it as well, which is nice. So let's do this. So we're going to come down onto here, and we're just going to basically keep the heat going and run solder down the looped wire like so. There we go. What I should be able to do now is just work that into the wiring joint. There we go, so it's all covered. So now that's done, it's the soldering iron turned off. Let's put the caps back on. There we go. Let's take our heat shrink and just work it on like so. Then done. Now I just need to repeat that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I need to sort out this earth connector here, which I need to put the spade connector back onto. So what I'll do with this one is extend it and stick the original spade connector back on, probably by soldering it into place. So what have we got next? We have brown and black. So we've got brown and black, which is going to be this one here, brown and black. So that's going to be the next one. Right, you'll rejoin me shortly. And here we go, final result. That is back in place. So all of these are covered. I'm not going to take them back up again, because they've got a bit more flex if they're not taped. The main earth is back on. That's back on, so that can go back up here. And we can pop the pin back in. So locate where I've abandoned that in the boot. Around somewhere. So I'm sure I saw it earlier. It'll turn up, but yeah, once that's back in, we're good to go. So we'll just check the switch. The switch works fine, so we've got the boot light, And we'll also have the high level brake light as well, which is excellent. However, roof is still not trying to come to life, so I think we've got issues with the roof ECU as well, so that's going to be the next thing we're going to look at. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Okay, so my troubleshooting with the roof continues. At the moment, I have no beeps when I press the switch. So if I go to soft top controller on my iCarSoft diagnostics tool, and unfortunately for this you will need a diagnostics tool, I'm going to go and read the fault code. So that, I think, is the main switch sensor on the roof, and that invalid state could either be a problem with the ECU or a problem with the loom going into the roof itself. Now, if I go to actuation test, I can do a trunk lid actuator test. So let's do open. You can actually hear the central locking motor chirp in the boot. Let's do closed. And you can hear it chirp again. So that's working. We can do the window tests. So we can actually open and then close. There we go. And the front ones also work. So let's see if we can do a main cylinder valve test. Click in the boot. So click on. There's a click on the relay and off. So on, relay click, off, voltage removed. So Torno cylinder valve test, on, off. Although it says inactive at the moment. So let's check tension belt cylinder valve, which is one of the main struts. Relay click and off. So the buzzer is the one that's interesting because there's no buzzer, currently inactive. So I'm not too sure why the buzzer's inactive. I'm actually now inclined to think that there might be a break in the loom between the car and the roof, which is another really common fault. I mean, we've fixed the loom on the boot, which is why we've now got the central lock-in motor chirping, but I think we now got a break between the roof and the car, because I've actually tried a new ECU in this and it hasn't made a difference. This is actually on the existing ECU. And yeah, we got that error there, which is one of the main main sensors in the roof. So I think that might be part of the problem. Okay, so no buzzer. Now the weird thing is sometimes this buzzer will work. Sometimes you'll press the button and you'll get 12 beeps out of it. So I am not sure why that's happening. But at the moment I can only go with what I know. And that is, this does seem to actuate a lot of circuits to do with the roof. So I can only assume that the roof ECU is potentially fine. So that is going to be probably the next thing I'll look at, is that roof loom. However, the other problem I have is this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's normally a resistor pack on the fan, but because the fan motor has also started screeching on the bearings, I'm going to replace the whole motor, and that will be available in another video. Right, back to it with the roof.